So welcome to Akiptan's Marketing Your Agribusiness Products webinar here today. My name is Dawn Yi LeBeau, and I'm the program officer here with Akiptan. I have been with Akiptan for a year now and have enjoyed the organization immensely. We are located on the Cheyenne River Lakota Nation in Eagle Butte, South Dakota, and we serve those in Native agriculture nationwide. So our mission is to transform the native agriculture and food economies by delivering creative capital, enhancing producer prosperity across Indian country. Akiptan is the Lakota word for working together in a cooperative effort, and this is reflective of our lending strategy or our lending philosophy. You can check out our website at www.akiptan.org to learn more about the products and services that we offer. Okay, so what is an agribusiness? Agribusiness can be defined very broadly as far as native agribusinesses are included, but it's an industry that is engaged in producing operations of a farm, the manufacture and distribution of farm equipment, supplies, and the processing, as well as the storage and distribution of farm commodities. They can be large, small, corporate, or independent businesses such as seed companies, food processing companies, food processing distribution centers, farms, those who create value-added products, cattle operations, cattle trucking or trucking businesses for agri products. That's what an agribusiness is. I'm sure you all are aware of that because you are participating today. As far as marketing for your agribusiness, there are 4 key points that we will focus on today, and that includes product, price, place, and promotion of your product. So marketing refers to any actions that your organization or company takes to attract the audience that would be interested in your product or services through messaging strategy. So marketing aims to deliver the value of your product, who your consumers will be, and you'll be creating content with short-term goals, long-term goals, by demonstrating to whoever your clientele is what your product value is. You'll also be strengthening your brand while you create your marketing plan, and ultimately including or increasing sales, right? So we'll be talking about these 4 key points today. Feel free to take notes, ask questions in the chat box as they arise, and I will answer them as we move along here. Okay, so the first point that I named was product. Product is one of the most important considerations of your service, right? So you want to understand what makes your product stand out from others. Some folks name in their mission statement, like, my product is community-based. We support the local economy, is family owned. Maybe they have environmental practices and sustainable practices or regenerative practices in their agribusiness. And so that is 1 or 2 or 3 reasons why their product would stand out from others. So number 1, what makes your product stand out from others? Okay. Who's currently purchasing your product? Is there a certain age group? There's an example named here, like maybe it's this age group here. Is it only agricultural communities, and what areas are those? We'll talk about place a little bit more when we get to that point. Are there seasonal patterns for your product? Do your sales increase in the summer months because you are doing value added products? Is it in the fall? These are all the things you want to think about when you're looking at your product. What's out there now? Who are your allies, competitors, folks that you can collaborate with? You're going to want to list those companies that are already producing your product. What are the current sales in the industry right now? That's going to help you to develop your price market. So doing research on what that product is currently selling for. So maybe it's the cattle industry, maybe there's canned goods that you sell, maybe you have farmers market items. What are other companies selling their product for? That way you can define what your product is going to be sold at. Okay. Who are your suppliers that you need to rely on to help you with this? Is there a packing company that you need to identify, and what are their prices? Because that's going to help you with your marketing budget. You're going to have a budget, and we're going to talk about that here shortly. And how are the partnerships within those that you need to rely on? What are their mission statements, and how does it align with yours? So these are all questions that you can ask and give answers to, so that you can define what your product is and who you're selling it to. So one of the best ways to also explore these questions is to create a good old fashioned market research. And you can do this on your own by just, getting online, talking to folks that are already in the industry that you're specifically working in. So online research, reaching out to mentors that helped you get to where you're at, doing some surveys. There's so many different ways that you can develop your product research. Okay, we'll move on to price. This is one of the 4 key points of marketing your product. So pricing strategy is critical in the success of your business, right? So you're going to start thinking about which ways you should be like optimizing your prices, or thinking about who your audience is, thinking about a market, a niche. So if you already have a price point that seems to work great, there's still all these uncontrollable elements that can change that price, right? Right now, a lot of folks are concerned about fuel prices, right? So if you're in a trucking business, that is going to help you to develop your price point. So all of those different uncontrollable elements, well, that's going to help you create your marketing budget, your price for your product. Also, you're going to also lean back on your competitors, right? And see what they're doing and see what their price range is, so that you can develop your pricing strategy. So first things first, you want to create a marketing budget. How will you advertise your products? Are you going to go with paid advertising, where you put something in the newspaper? Maybe you have a little ad in the newspaper. Newspaper ads typically, or can run anywhere from, I don't know, let's say you put like a little 2x4 black and white ad in your local paper, that can cost you anywhere from, I don't know, $40 on up. So it just depends on the newspaper and what their prices are, right? So that's one thing you can do, paid advertising in the newspaper. You can do online content. So maybe you have a Facebook page for your products. How long does it take you to create graphics or content that you're going to post? Maybe you want to get your name out there and you're just starting. How long does it take you to put all of your information into one graphic? And what do you pay yourself for that? So that's going to be in your marketing budget. Maybe you need to hire marketing staff, right? Maybe you need to hire somebody that is skilled in marketing. And what does their fee look like, right? maybe you want to purchase marketing automation software. It's things like HubSpot and things like that that can do the scheduling content for you. You have to create the content and then you place it into something like HubSpot, and then it generates out, emails, social media ads, things like that for you. It can cost up to, I think their price fee is, well, let me think here. I think it's about $45 a month for HubSpot. So is that something that you want to do? Is that a strategy that you, or a resource that you can afford at this point, right? So another thing is displays, printed materials. Maybe you're going to go to a trade show and market your product or market your company. Are you going to buy like the pop-ups that have all your information on there? Business cards needs to be included in your marketing budget. Maybe you're going to create a brochure. How much does that cost? Who will create it? Is it something you can do in-house internally? All of these things add up, right? So it all depends on what strategy can you afford, what works for you. At some point, you're going to revisit your plan and your budget, and you're going to define, did buying that website really help my business? Do I need an online presence? Did that newspaper ad reach the people that I am marketing to? So all of these things intertwine, place and price, product, right? They're all kind of go hand in hand. So usually, or according to data, it shows that the average small business invests about 1% of its revenue on advertising and marketing. It varies, right, from industry to industry. So for example, if you have sales of like, let's say $500,000 annually, 1% of that would go to your marketing and advertising. So you'll spend like $5,000, or maybe, you make $100,000 a year, or whatever it is, like 1% of that is how much you'll spend on marketing and advertising. And what kind of sales did you get from doing all of these different strategies? You'll have to revisit that eventually. We'll talk a little bit more about that when we get to promotion at the end. Okay. So talked about all of these. What strategy can you afford? What marketing can you do internally? Like you as the business owner, are there things that you can create so you can save yourself some money? And what do you need to outsource? Do you need to hire somebody to do a lot of things? And one of those would include, a newspaper ad or creating a website. Websites can cost anywhere from like $144 on up annually. So you have to put all of that into your marketing budget so you know how much you can afford. Maybe it's word of mouth. Maybe you're going to events and visiting and talking to different folks in your market area or in your industry. So. Okay, let's talk about place, because place is very important. It's the optimal, what are the optimal channels of distribution for your product? So place is very important. Maybe you want to do a fully online value added product. So like place would look different for that, right? So, or maybe you sell only locally in your community, and where are you located at? So you want to think about who your target customers are in that area, who's going to sell or who's going to buy your product the most. What are the key characteristics of your customers? For example, are you in a cattle industry? Are you in the organic industry? What are those things that your customers are looking for, and how does your product fit into that wheelhouse? So that also takes you to your primary market. What does that look like? Do you have current customers? Maybe you're a startup and you have solid customers already, or you go to certain locations to sell your product, why are they buying your product? And where is that located? So you want to also research who else is selling your product. So competitors in place also plays a key factor. So if your business is fully online, let's say that you're selling a value added product and you decided to get a website, and you have that space. So you're located in, I don't know, let's say Minnesota, and you live in a rural area. So you commute to the different farmers markets in different locations, but you have your website online. So place means for you is that you're going to farmer markets in person, and simultaneously you're selling online. So your place is not only local, it is also nationwide. And where are you going to ship to? If you are selling your product online, are you going to stay just, in your state, nationwide? Are you going to branch out and go, globally? There's all types of questions to be answered when it comes to place. Maybe you are a trucking business and you truck in a certain region only. So lots to think about there, right? So there's also other places like not just farmers market, but maybe there's a craft market and you have a value added product. So you could also research, different marketplaces within your region, different festivals that happen during different seasons, and you can prepare your product for those different seasons. How much product will you need for that place? If you've attended that event before, how much product did you sell at that event? So think about all these different pieces, right? Maybe you're selling teas, and you're gathering in the summer, selling in the fall. What does that look like? So regardless of the place that you choose or the place that you're located, it's really important that you understand who your target audience is, what they like to buy, where they spend their time. And that way you can get in on any opportunity to market your product and make some money on your business, right? Okay, let's talk about promotion, which is the fourth key point of marketing, right? So promotion means that you should create a mission statement. Why are you selling this product? This is a good example here. This person or this organization or company's mission statement is to provide a product that supports the local community, strengthens the indigenous food economy, and also supports environmental friendly practices. So your mission statement is going to be kind of like your pitch when you're telling folks about your product, like these are our key areas, this is our mission, this is why we are promoting this product, this is why we are in business. And maybe you have a logo too that also fits into your marketing budget, because if somebody were to create a logo for you, that's going to cost you some money, so that's going to go into your marketing budget. So you can also create your logo on your own. There are plenty of different apps and tools and resources online where you can create your own logo. Some of the tips of creating your own logo is to keep it simple, make sure that it's relevant, make sure that it's memorable, and that 5-10 years from now, you're still going to like it, but you can always update it as you move forward. Things can be amended, right? So in that logo, you're going to think of your color palette too, so you can keep everything in sequence and that your brand and promotion has some flow and it's solidified and it's not constantly changing. And maybe you have a tagline, right? Tagline would be, we create value added, or let's say, I'm not really good at taglines, but let's say here, where the tagline might be, we're a community focused agriculture operation located within this tribal nation, and our mission is to bang, but boom, 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 whatever it is that you're selling, right? So you could have a tagline too, which is kind of similar to your mission statement, but a little shorter. So the next thing that is a part of a promotion is your style of strategy. We kind of went over this a little bit in price, but are you going to do content marketing, which includes blogs on your website, any type of videos of your product, graphics for promotion that go on your social media or your website? Can you do a podcast? Are there webinars like this that you can do to help people understand what your product is? Social media marketing is a huge resource. You can place your information on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and so on. Influencer marketing, this is something that you'll typically see on social media as well. Email marketing, maybe you send direct emails to folks that have shown interest in your product. There's also something called search engine optimization, which will, if you have a website or an online media presence, putting different things into that boost search will help to drive folks to your website. But that is a whole conversation. Paid advertising, like we mentioned before, maybe you're doing newspaper ads, brochures, online advertising with different companies or different online publications. So not only do newspapers have the physical newspaper copy, most of them have an online presence, and you can post your ads on their website. Okay, so once you identify what style or of strategy that you want to use, you're in a much better position to promote your products and follow your marketing budget. What are your goals? So when you're thinking about your product and the marketing portion of it, what kind of goal do you want to reach? Are you wanting to do a short-term monthly goal of like, this month, I am going to gain 5 new clients, and they're going to be long-term clients. Maybe you are selling a different value-added product and you want to sell 10 new products every week. So in your promotion of marketing, you want to set some goals. They can be short-term, they can be long-term, but either way, why are you creating that goal? Do you want to increase your income by 30%? And what do you have to do that? Is it going to be attending different events? Maybe there's a trade show coming up and you want to get to know others in your market and promote your product. But at the same time, you're thinking about how much is that going to cost you to go to that trade show, and what are your expenses going to be? How is your costs going to go up, and are you going to gain anything from it? So you really have to think about, what can I afford when I'm creating this marketing plan? Okay, so we're also going to monitor our results. Like after we've done all of this work and labor, 1 second, please. You're going to track all of your sales, right? So you're going to monitor all of this work that you did and figure out, like, was doing that website beneficial? How many folks visited my website, and how many sales did I get from that? How much product did I sell when I went to this farmer's market? You can also do like key sales day. Like maybe you went to farmer's market on a Friday and your sales were low, but you went on a Saturday and your sales skyrocketed. So you're going to also monitor those results, like which days, hours, times are best to be present at different events to increase your sales of your product. So patterns are also important, right? Um, patterns of anything really. There's so many things that you can track. And it's similar to what I just mentioned. Friday sales were low, Saturdays were good, different times of the year. You also want to track your leads. Maybe you have a newsletter and folks are interested in your product. Maybe you have them sign up for your newsletter at your booth at your farmer's market so they can keep up to date on what you're doing, what you're selling, new products that you have added to your inventory. So who are your connections? Track your leads. Who did you connect with? So if you have an online presence, the good thing about websites is that they track the majority of this for you. And like I said, websites can cost anywhere from like $150 on up, depending on the plan you have. They often have different plans offered in website platforms. Okay, so another key point that we'll talk about within promotion is your process from start to finish. How did your customer receive your product? Was it online? Was it in person? Was the process a smooth process? Payment options. Do you accept cash, card, online payments? Do you have one of those cool little swiper things that you put on your phone? Thinking about that promotion in process. Delivery, what does delivery look like? Was that a smooth process and transition? And then you're constantly thinking about how you can improve this process. Maybe you have a customer that you've been working with for 5 years, 2 years, whatever it is. Have a conversation with them, like, what did my process look like for selling my product to you? Were there challenges? Were there things that you think that I could have improved on? Was my mission statement in line with what you witnessed from an external standpoint? Okay, so that's another piece of promotion, is your selling process. Okay. Let's talk about customer service and communication skills. So if you hire on, a new person, what is your mission statement for providing customer service? What does that look like? Do you have active listening skills? Are there any trainings that can help you to develop your customer service? Do you have all of these skills, right, to be personable and to take care of your customers? So you also have to think about the customer service piece of marketing your agribusiness service. I think one other piece that I didn't place on here is also like your pitch or your marketing strategy or your mission statement. Excuse me, not marketing strategy. Like, what does that look like? And is everybody on your team a part of that? And do they know the mission statement? Do they know what the tagline is? So many pieces when it comes to customer service are important. Communication, active listening skills, and developing your customer service skills is so important. There are a lot of online trainings that team members can benefit from. Follow up too, customer service. Maybe there's someone that was interested, but not technically at the time. So maybe follow up with them. There is something in customer service where you have to don't follow up too much. Don't be too pushy. You got to give them a little bit of time to make their decisions. But yes, that's customer service. It's just another piece. All right, so the last piece that we'll talk about is revisiting your plan. I mentioned this a little bit ago, but like close out to any good plan of action is revisiting how things went, what worked, what didn't work. Are there things that you need to amend and change? Always revisit your plan and try to figure out how things can go a little smoother. Okay, so with that said, does anybody have any questions? Feel free to place them in the chat. I'm also going to put my email in the chat if there's anything that you would like to ask me later on down the line. My email's on the screen as well. I'll give you a couple minutes. And if there are no questions, then I feel like the presentation was very clear. So thank you. Okay, no questions. That means hopefully that my presentation was very clear. I also want to share with you all our producer survey. So we are doing a market study here at Akiptan. The results of our producer survey and market study will help us to determine what unmet need in financing for Native producers are needed, amongst other barriers, if not addressed, would lead to better services, greater prosperity, and sustainability for those in Native agriculture. So right now, this is our incentive, an invite for you all to complete our survey. So today through July 5th, if you take our survey, you can scan this QR code on the screen. You'll be entered to win a DeWalt 20-volt brushless combo kit, which is a great value. I know a lot of folks would benefit from having one of these. The survey can take anywhere up to 5 to 10 minutes, so keep that in mind. If you complete this one, then you will also be entered to win one of two $500 drawings in August. And we have been adding different incentives every 2 weeks or so often. We have some regional incentives. So if you click that or take a photo of that QR code, it'll take you to our website and you can complete the survey there and see what other folks have already won. So these responses are being collected from all over Indian country. And we hope to get more farmers, ranchers, agribusinesses, fishers, and others in the native agricultural wheelhouse to offer us their feedback. And we're very thankful for everyone that has participated thus far. But please feel free to share this with your colleagues and other folks in the native ag industry. And I will put the link to the producer survey in the chat, so you can just click on it. Okay. Last week we had one person win a 3-holster vaccine cooler. So all right, and so to contact us, our email is here, and then you have my email as well. Our phone number is here on the screen. If you are interested in other webinars that we will be hosting, sign up for our newsletter. It's on our website, and I'll put that in the chat too, so that you can sign up for that, and you'll see what webinars we will be hosting. We try to do one every month. We have the recordings on our website from previous ones too. So there is our link to sign up for our newsletter. You can follow us on our social media channels, which include LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. So, all right, thanks you all for joining us today. You will receive an email to do a short feedback survey as well. We appreciate those feedback surveys. It helps us to identify what types of information that you all are wanting and needing to see. And I'll place that feedback survey in the chat as well so that you can fill it out right now if you'd like. Otherwise, you will get it in an email. But we appreciate this stuff because then we can create valuable tools for you all to be successful in your agricultural businesses. So, all right, with that, thank you all again. I appreciate your time. Look forward to seeing you at the next one. And I hope that you all take a moment to participate in our producer survey. So thanks, and y'all have a good day.